from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for December 2024. So on December 7th, we have our second energy shift of the weekend here. Again, spoiler alert, 6th, 7th, 8th. Major back-to-back energy shifts. If you haven't listened to the December energy forecast overview, I'm going to recommend you do that. If you haven't listened to your zodiac forecast for the month, going to recommend you do that. If you haven't downloaded your December energy guide specifically written for your zodiac sign, I'm going to recommend you do that so that you understand the area of your life that are going to be influenced and impacted the most by all of these energy shifts. On December 7th, we have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, moving out of the Capricorn energy that we've been sitting in and moving into Aquarius energy. Of course, fun fact, going to recommend, if you haven't already, to listen to Mars's retrograde astro forecast. Of course, Mars, the masculine divine energy, went retrograde December 6th. The feminine divine energy of Venus, now moving into Aquarius energy, that just happens to sit across from the Leo energy that Mars is currently retrograding in. So we have the masculine and feminine divine energy sitting across from each other in the zodiac wheel. At least Venus's energy is being kind of, put out to the external world. Mars, now retrograde, all of his energy is now internalized. Again, please take a listen to that forecast. So let's talk about Venus for a second. Venus was in this Capricorn energy. She had her mind on her money and her money on her mind. She was thinking about her long-term goals, visions, and dreams. She was thinking about her happiness, her joy, her safety, her security, her stability. And of course, where major changes need to be made in order for her to build and create the realm and reality that not only looks good, but that feels good as well. That Capricorn energy was definitely about the long-term goals, visions, and dreams, the structures, the foundations that need to be built now in order to align us with actually bringing those goals, visions, and dreams into fruition. A lot of the time in Capricorn energy, although it is very slow, because it is an earth sign, although it is very serious and somber, because Saturn rules it, we are a little bit quiet. We're a little bit, I'm going to say, not negative Nancy, but we're definitely aware of the struggle, the obstacles that we are going to face in trying to rearrange and restructure our physical realms to close the door, wrap up the karmic cycles that, again, we're no longer resonating with, so that we can focus all of our time, energy, and attention on building and creating the physical life that, again, is more in resonance with our higher self, our heart space, than the ego self that many of us, again, had built our physical realms around and upon. Typically speaking, in Capricorn energy, we become very illuminated to the problems, to the obstacles, to the challenges, to the limitations, to the restrictions that we're currently facing while trying to make some serious improvements. The Aquarius energy is an air energy, first of all, so it's not as heavy, it's not as weighted as that earth energy of Capricorn is. And it allows us to act as the observer because, again, kind of provides us this emotional detachment that we need because, again, we're too close to things. It's hard to make sound judgment calls when we're too close to the situation. The Aquarius energy removes us from that position and allows us to think outside of the box, to come up with some creative solutions to some of the long-term standing problems that, of course, we've been banging our head against, especially where routines, relationships, and money matters are concerned. So Venus shifting into Aquarius energy, it's going to feel very freeing, very liberating, especially seeing as we've been sitting in the weight of that Capricorn energy. Now, we need a little bit of time, we need a little bit of energy, we need a little bit of space, we need a little bit of independence and freedom in order for us to kind of take stock, to take inventory, so to speak, on what needs to be done. Now, this particular energy allows us to be a little bit more flighty, a little bit more free, especially in our social circles, kind of coming and going as we please. We don't really like commitments. We just want to kind of, see how things organically and naturally unfold. Not to say that we are, not faithful or not loyal or not able to commit, But at the same time, we just don't want to be tied down. We don't want to feel those restrictions. We don't want to feel trapped in any kind of way. Everything that we do, especially the choices that we're making to make changes to improve, has to be on our own terms. If anybody even suggests an idea, we're probably going to rebel against it. That is just the Aquarius energy. We need to come up with the idea on our own. We need to do it on our own terms. It needs to feel good to us. Now, the Aquarius energy is also pretty high on experimenting. So this is when, typically speaking, we want to experiment with our day-to-day routines to see if we can get off of autopilot and actually become more present, do things with intention, even if they're not the funnest things to be doing. We also want a little bit of experimentation in our relationship dynamics. Now, does that mean that we're just cutting off our commitments to our partners and going out and testing the waters? Well, for some people, it might, if that is the karmic chapter that needs to be ending. However, even in long-term committed relationships, we can still experiment. We can experiment with the way that we do things, with the way that we show up for that other person, for the way that we show up for ourselves, for the way that we communicate our wants, needs, and desires, for the plan, the path, the strategy that we want to both be building towards in our futuristic goals. So there's a lot of experimenting that we need to be doing in order to see where it is that we actually have some options and opportunities to make some adjustments, to make some improvements for the best outcome. So because, Venus is all about our love and money, this is going to be a great time to kind of dip our toe into all of the social circles that we're a part of. This is, again, another opportunity to kind of express this new version of self in a different way. This is a great time to just kind of put yourselves out there in all sorts of different social dynamics in order to see who it is that you vibrate towards, and in most cases, who it is that you're vibrating away from. Again, we're going through a major change, a major transition in our karmic cycles, and therefore, a lot of people in our lives are going to be dropping off like dead flies. We need to kind of reevaluate who and what deserves our time, our energy, our effort. And because this Aquarius energy is very much operating from the highest point of our intellect, any type of intellectual stimulation is going to be what we gravitate to. When it comes to our resources, our materialistic items, our finances, we're going to come up with some out-of-the-box solutions on what we could be doing differently, especially setting us up for more safety, security, and stability moving into the new year. This is going to have us kind of breathing new life into old ideas, considering the fact that the Capricorn energy was very based in tradition and the Aquarius energy is very based in progressiveness and innovation. It's time to take what has been working and to improve it, to do it a little bit better, to just kind of build upon it. The one thing that we all have to focus on with this particular transit, and especially this new chapter that we're moving into, this new year that we're moving into, is anchoring in our authenticity. We have to show up as our real, true, raw, vulnerable selves in our relationships, in our day-to-day life, in our friendships, in our social circles, in every single situation that gets kind of offered to us to show up as this newest version of self. And so, with Venus kind of moving into this Aquarius energy, we know that there's going to be an immediate conjunction with Pluto, the great transformer. These two haven't really done the dance of darkness since Venus's retrograde, which just happened to be in the Leo energy that Mars is currently retrograding through. Piece that together if you know, you know. But as Venus moves into this Aquarius energy, again, the opposition to the masculine energy of Mars definitely going to put into perspective where it is that we're being heart-led. Again, Mars retrograde in Leo energy, heart and soul of the zodiac, to reevaluate our passion, our desires, our energy, our attention. And where Venus is concerned, what we're actually pouring our time, energy, passion, and desires into, and who we're taking on this next chapter, in this next chapter in this journey to this, again, higher version of self. So we're going to have a lot of different aspects pop off while Venus is moving through this Aquarius energy. And again, this is just the second of 5 energy shifts taking place here this weekend. So I am going to encourage you to listen to the next astro forecast, which just happens to be Neptune coming out of his retrograde.